Now that the bus is cleaned out, let's rip out some seats. Oh yeah, it's also snowing. Welcome to the Hippie Geeks and our schoolie conversion Soul the Sunchaser. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to catch all our new content. Before we can start gutting the bus, we need to get the rest of the seats out and do something with the heater that is under one of them. We removed half of the seats right after we bought the bus, but left the others so that everyone would have a place to sit when we took the bus on the road. Since the transmission is shot, we don't really have to worry about that right now. Since the last time I was removing seats, I picked up a cordless impact driver, which is going to help speed up the process. Just a little though, as most of these bolts are not going to be able to be unbolted. While it is nice when they come up and out of the floor completely, this is not something that will happen very often. What I am mostly looking for is to get enough of a gap that I can either get a Sawzall blade or angle grinder under the head to cut the bolt off. The angle grinder is by far the easier of the two that will do the job, but we were completely broke when I pulled these seats out, so once my grinder disc was shot, I had to move on to the Sawzall and make it work. It went pretty quickly, and once those bolts were out, I needed to remove the last ones that held the seats onto the wall. To be able to get those out, however, I needed to remove the bottom cushions from the seats so that I could actually get to the ones on the wall. Looking underneath the seats, there are several screws that needed to be removed. I pulled them all out from the rear shield, then loosened the ones that secured the seat cushion to the frame. After that, I pulled the cushion away and grabbed the impact driver and a wrench. The wrench was used to hold the nuts from below while I used the impact driver to unbolt it from the top. There are 3 bolts on each seat, and once they are removed, the entire seat can then be lifted up and set aside. With the other seats, I skipped removing the shields until after I had the seat flipped over. They're easier to get to at this point, and once the shield is off, it gives you access to the seat belt attachment points. Make sure to set your seatbelts aside to be used later in the build, as by law any passengers in your RV need to have their own seatbelt, and I plan on reusing ours. Right after that point, the temperature dropped hard and it actually started snowing. That's pretty rare for our area, and not surprisingly, it didn't last very long or stick around once it was done. The kids did have a good time jumping on the trampoline in the snow, however, so at least someone was able to enjoy it. The last thing to deal with is the underseat heater. We are still not sure if we are going to reuse it, but we wanted to make sure to not destroy it just in case. After pulling the cushion off of the seat, it looks like the heater is actually attached to the seat and not the floor. After removing the 3 bolts holding the seat to the wall, I started prying on the clips that were holding the heater to the seat. With a little leverage, I eventually got all the clips pulled up and then over so that it would let go of the seat. At that point, I was able to pull the seat away and just leave the heater to deal with later. After that, it was time to clean up my mess. Before starting up a new project, especially on the schoolie build, I like to pick everything up so that I have a clean slate when I start the next step. Today was no different, so I got to work moving everything out of the bus and into the garage. By the time I was finished, the bus was completely clean. However, I cannot say the same for the garage. The schoolie floor is all cleaned up though, and ready for the next project, which will be removing the existing flooring so that we can see how bad the metal deck is. We have a couple of soft spots in the floor, so things may be pretty bad under there. However, we are hopeful it won't be terrible, but whatever it is, we will get it fixed up. Since you managed to make it this far, do you have any questions at this point in our conversion? If so, leave them in the comments below, as we would love to get a conversation going. If this is your first time here visiting Soul the Sunchaser, it would be wonderful to have you subscribe. This channel is all about our schoolie journey, the good, the bad, and everything in between. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and check out our Patreon page or merch store to support the channel directly. Until next time, keep seeking adventure, chasing the sun.